Stop everything you are doing. Freeze. The energy in this room just shifted violently, and I mean violently. This is not a casual listen. This is not background noise. This is an urgent, highly sensitive spiritual delivery, channeled directly from the throne room, and it is meant specifically for your ears. The reason you clicked this video is not coincidence. The reason your heart rate just accelerated is not psychological. It is a diagnosis. It is the sound of the universe confirming your identity. God sent me to deliver one message to you today, and I need you to receive it without blinking, without doubt. This message is critical, urgent, and terrifying to the forces of the abyss. This is the word, chosen one. Death tried to take you, and it failed. It failed miserably. It failed fundamentally. It failed because the signature on your soul is far too ancient, far too powerful, and far too dangerous. You have felt different your entire life. You have felt the weight of millions of eyes on you, eyes you can't see, watching you through the spiritual veil. You have felt that heavy, suffocating blanket of envy, of resentment, of targeted demonic malice. You have known pain that should have ended you, illnesses that defy medical logic, betrayal that should have shattered your identity into 1,000 irreparable pieces. They threw everything at you. They threw the curse of the broken bloodline. They threw the spirit of poverty. They threw the spirit of suicidal ideation. They threw the spirit of confusion. Confusion. They threw it all, and they waited for you to collapse. They waited for the moment your light would extinguish. They waited for your final desolate breath, but it never came. Do you feel that current of power rushing into your hands right now? I need you to activate this frequency. Right now. This is the seal of immediate confirmation. Type the code 777 into the comments. Type 777 to lock in this prophecy. Type 777 as the sacred key that opens the portal of protection and blinds the watchers. This is the agreement, the divine transaction, the activation code. Do it now. Seal the word, because once you confirm this truth, there is no going back to the old reality. The old contract is null and void. You are stepping into the full, unbridled awareness of your power, and the kingdom of darkness already knows it. Your suffering was not bad luck. Listen closely to this truth that will change your perspective forever. Your suffering was a calculated, strategic, overwhelming assault designed to neutralize a world-changing threat. You are the threat. You are the chosen one, and your existence is a cosmic disturbance in the geometry of evil. The battles you fought in the dark, those silent, soul-wrenching wars, they were not minor skirmishes. They were attempts on the life of a prophetic king or queen, attempts on the life of a vessel designed to carry the greatest light this generation has ever seen. They tried to take you out in childhood. They tried to take you out in your relationship. They tried to take you out in your finances. They tried to take you out through sheer exhaustion and disillusionment. They tried. And the result is always the same. They failed. The abyss trembles when you stand up. The shadow entity that has been assigned to monitor your life reports back to its master with 2 words, failure and fear. They sent the angel of death to your door. You felt its cold shadow, didn't you? You know the moments I'm talking about, the moments when you were supposed to transition, when everything in the natural realm pointed to your final defeat. Maybe it was a moment of severe illness. Maybe it was a crash. Maybe it was a moment of absolute spiritual brokenness where the will to live just evaporated. You were on the threshold. You had 1 foot over the line, but something pulled you back. Something intervened with a sudden, searing flash of white, radiant light. That something was the divine veto. Do you understand the level of warfare you have survived? You passed the impossible test. You passed the test that was designed for annihilation. The forces of darkness underestimated the sheer, terrifying brilliance of the Selah, the divine pause that God placed over your life. He commanded the demons back. He commanded the illness to retreat. He commanded the poverty to cease its grip. He commanded the spirit of death to drop the assignment and flee in terror. And when those dark entities look at you now, they don't see a survivor. They see a walking monument to their catastrophic defeat. You are a memorial stone built on the grave of their failed attempts. The very air around you carries the scent of victory, and that scent is poison to them. I want to take you into the spiritual realm for a moment. I want you to see what is currently happening on the higher frequency. Imagine the great cosmic council, the angels, the archangels, the seraphim standing around the throne, and they are talking about you. They are not talking about your failures. They are not discussing your perceived weaknesses. They are recounting the moments of your greatest trial. They are replaying the footage of the night you were supposed to break, but you chose to worship instead. They are watching the replay of the moment you should have quit, but you found the strength to get out of bed one more time. The seraphim are looking at your life and nodding, a sign of deep, profound respect. And I see the Father, the Ancient of Days, leaning forward, his gaze intense, powerful, yet overwhelmingly proud. He says, "Look at my child. Look at the one I sealed for this era. They went through the fire. They walked through the valley of the shadow of death. They were tested against the highest frequencies of destruction, and they came out stronger. They came out refined. They came out with the oil of activation already burning on their forehead. They passed the test. They passed the test. They passed the test." This is divine validation. Your scars are not symbols of trauma. They are the badges of a spiritual veteran. They are proof that you are pervious to the fire, impermeable to the poison. You are dangerous. You are a spiritual weapon that the enemy desperately wished had never been manufactured. Your anointing is a live wire. Your prayer life is a detonation device. When you decide to forgive, you are releasing a nuclear bomb of grace that burns away ancestral chains. When you walk into a room, the demons assigned to the people there feel a sudden, violent headache. They feel the shift in the atmosphere. They look at you and they know, this is the chosen one. This is the one who carries the light that will expose our deepest plans. The fact that you are still here, that you are breathing, that you are listening to this message and receiving the anointing, is the greatest middle finger ever raised to the kingdom of darkness. You survived. You survived. You survived. Now, let me tell you about the immediate, tangible proof of your power that happened just this week, in the unseen realm, while you were asleep. The chief entity assigned to your destruction, the general of the assault, was performing its routine nightly surveillance. They think they can watch you. They think they can peep into your windows, into your dreams, into your intentions. This entity, this shadow being, positioned itself right outside your spiritual window, trying to gather intelligence on your next move, trying to find the crack, the weakness, the flaw in your shield. It thought it was safe. It thought it was hidden in the darkest hour of the night. But you have a signature of light that has been activated through this message, through your suffering, and through the seal of 777. Your light is not soft ambient lighting. Your light is a high-voltage, explosive plasma burst. As the entity pressed its dark face closer to your spiritual window, trying to peer in, trying to capture your essence, trying to steal the blueprints of your destiny, that light flared. It didn't just illuminate the space, it detonated. It was a supernatural flashbang designed by the highest heaven. The entity recoiled in agony. Its eyes, the spiritual eyes it uses for surveillance, the eyes that have been tracking your life for years, watching your every step, cataloging your pain, savoring your failures, those eyes were instantly, irrevocably, spiritually blinded. It was not a temporary flash. It was a permanent incapacitation. The report going back to the command center of the enemy is chaos. The report is panic. The chief spy on your life is now useless, paralyzed, screaming in the outer darkness because they got too close to the source of the divine anointing. They tried to look at the face of the chosen one, and your light burned their sight away. This is the power you carry. This is the power that was sealed in you the moment you refused to die. They are scrambling right now. The enemy's camp is in utter disarray. They have lost their visual feed. They have lost their strategic advantage. They thought they had you cornered, but you just took their most powerful weapon. their knowledge of your weakness, and you turned it against them. The attempt on your life failed. The attempt to steal your peace failed. The attempt to derail your purpose failed. They failed. They failed. They failed. You are protected by fire. You are hidden in the secret place of the Most High. And now you are activated. You have passed the grueling, impossible test of endurance. You have been refined by the flame. You are now leaving the phase of merely surviving, and you are entering the phase of absolute dominion. The energy of this video, the word I have delivered, is now integrating with your spiritual DNA. The seal of 777 is closing off old wounds and opening up new reservoirs of strength, visions, and power. You are not just recovering from the past, you are conquering the future. Every step you take now is sanctioned by heaven, backed by legions of angels, and infused with the terror of the Almighty. But the activation of power is not the end of the story. It is only the beginning of the assignment. The enemy is wounded, but not defeated. The next phase is not about survival. It is about reclaiming the territory they stole while you were fighting for your life. You are moving from defense to radical, aggressive offense. The things you lost, the time, the opportunities, the finances, the relationships, they are about to be restored, not merely one for one, but sevenfold. The test is over, and now the reckoning begins. Prepare yourself, chosen one, because the battlefield just shifted, and you are stepping onto it not as a victim, but as a warrior ready to execute the divine mandate. The time for whispering is over. The time for marching has begun. The time for whispering is over. The time for marching has begun. And you need to understand something right now. Something critical that is shaking the foundation of the invisible realm. They tried to silence you. They tried to break you. They tried to bury you under layers of depression and distraction and doubt. They deployed their finest weapons. They used the people closest to you. They set traps on every corner of your path. But I am here, standing in the prophetic corridor, declaring with the certainty of 1,000 suns, they failed. They failed miserably. They underestimated the DNA running through your veins. Death knocked on your door, not once, not twice, but repeatedly throughout this grueling season. But the divine fire that burns fiercely behind your eyes incinerated the welcome mat, slammed the door shut, and sent the grim reaper packing, terrified, back to the pit from whence he came. You survived. You passed the test. And now the heavens are recording the receipts of your victory. I need you to visualize this with me, chosen one, because this isn't metaphor, this is reality. Up in the celestial war room, where the archangels hold court and the divine council is assembled, there is an energy of fierce, protective pride surrounding your name. When the enemy thought they had you cornered, when the sickness spread or the betrayal landed its hardest blow, they watched. They watched with bated breath, holding the golden ledgers. They were not watching to see if you would fail. They were watching to see how gloriously you would rise. And when you chose faith over fear, when you whispered the name above all names even when your throat was choked with tears, a roar erupted in the heavens. Not a roar of battle, but a sound of satisfied vindication. They clapped. The angels clapped. The divine council smiled. They looked at the adversary, the one who claimed your potential was a lie, and they showed him the evidence. You, your perseverance, your willingness to stand in the fire and refuse to burn. The very moment of your greatest vulnerability became the moment of your ultimate promotion. You have been upgraded. Your protection shield has been reinforced with a new frequency, a frequency only earned through genuine hardship. Understand this. You are not merely surviving anymore. You are radiating. You are so potent right now that the enemy cannot look at you directly. They tried to observe your downfall. In the dark corners of their spiritual surveillance rooms, the powers and principalities that rule this earth gathered. They fixed their gaze upon you, the one they designated for termination, looking through the psychic window, expecting to see a defeated, broken shell of a person. They waited for the final gasp. But the moment they focused their intent, the moment they tried to lock their dark frequencies onto your spirit. The light, the pure, unfiltered, victorious light of the God within you. The light earned through suffering and submission to the divine will. That light burst forth. It didn't just deter them, it blinded them. It wasn't a gentle glow, chosen one. It was a spiritual flare bomb. Their sensors are fried. Their intelligence gathering is obsolete. They didn't just fail the mission. They were permanently scarred by your illumination. They are terrified of you now. They tried to use that season to destroy you, but you weaponized your pain, you harvested your wisdom, and you emerged from the ashes dripping in pure, undeniable power. They failed. They failed the contract. They failed to understand the nature of the covenant upon your life. This failure is not theoretical. It has immediate, tangible consequences for everyone involved. The forces that aligned against you, the people, the systems, the unseen hands, they are currently experiencing the instant, amplified return of their own dark energy. You don't need to lift a finger for vengeance. You don't need to plan the payback. The universe is transactional, and your victory initiated a massive, irreversible transfer of energy. Watch the people who betrayed you stumble over thin air. Watch the foundations they built on lies begin to tremble and crumble. The karma they thought was slow and distant is now immediate and aggressive. This is divine retribution, flowing directly from your vindication. The angels are not just smiling, they are taking notes, recording the instant payment due to those who touched the Lord's anointed. You were protected, you are protected, and now you are authorized to walk in an open flow of instantaneous justice. Accept this truth. You won. They lost. Stop looking for the residual scars of the battle and start inspecting the spoils of war. Your power level has doubled. Your discernment is surgical. Your destiny is non-negotiable. You are not meant to carry the shame or the trauma of the past season. That was a required course. Now you have graduated with honors. It is time to shed the victim narrative. It is time to stop playing small just because the enemy tried to minimize your existence. The spiritual hierarchy has been rearranged because of your faithfulness in the dark. Your name has been called out in the highest court. Chosen one, you have endured the crucible. You have passed the test of fire, and now the process of your official recognition, your celestial coronation, is about to begin. Every resource, every opportunity, every connection that was blocked during the season of testing is now being released with hyperspeed velocity. The ground is shifting beneath your feet, not into chaos, but into stability, setting the stage for the next phase of your divine operation. The time for humility in the face of obvious power is over. You are receiving the crown, your feet, not into chaos, but into stability, setting the stage for the next phase of your divine operation. The time for humility in the face of obvious power is over. You are receiving the crown. And as I speak this word into your reality right now, I see the archangels, not just Michael, but the entire council of authority, approaching you, approaching your energy field. And that crown is not merely gold, it is concentrated authority. It is the density of God's unshakable will being placed directly upon your head, aligning your pineal gland with the divine satellite, ensuring your reception is pure, your guidance is instant, and your power is undeniable. They are setting it upon you. Feel the weight, not the weight of burden, but the weight of dominion. This is the moment. Chosen one, this is the activation. The trial is complete. You passed the test. Death tried to take you and it failed miserably. And because you survived that fiery trial, because you walked through the valley of the shadow and refused to lie down, refused to surrender your divine identity, your status has been upgraded. You are not just protected, you are now completely and utterly untouchable. I need you to grasp this reality, not intellectually, but spiritually. You are untouchable. They cannot touch your finances. They cannot touch your mind. They cannot touch your health. Every dart they fire from this moment forward will dissolve into ash before it even reaches your halo, because you are walking in the mantle of the favorite. You are God's favorite. Yes, I said it. Stop minimizing your relationship. The universe is playing favorites, and you are the one they are favoring, because you proved your loyalty, You proved your endurance, and you proved that you cannot be bought. You cannot be broken, and you cannot be silenced. They tried. They tried to silence you in the darkness. They tried to drain your energy during your sleep. They tried to use people closest to you to plant seeds of doubt. They tried to use confusion and debt and illness to take you out, but they failed. They failed. They failed miserably. And now, the very thing they plotted to use as your grave marker is being repurposed as the foundation of your throne. Look with your spiritual eyes, chosen one. See the shift in the atmosphere around you. The previous cycle of lack, the cycle of confusion, the cycle of battling for basic survival. That contract has been terminated. It has been ripped up and burned in the celestial fire. A new contract is being signed in divine ink right now. A covenant of ceaseless overflow. A covenant of radical clarity. A covenant of immediate manifestation. What you speak now will accelerate. What you pray for now will arrive faster than you can prepare for it, because the resistance has been removed. The principalities that had assignment over your household have been dethroned and cast out, and their seats are now occupied by vigilant, 7-foot-tall warrior angels whose wingspan covers your entire life plan. They are here. They are watching. They are waiting for your command. Because you are the commander now, you wear the authority. And I need you to understand what happens when you step into this new frequency. Remember the enemy. Remember the dark eyes watching you from the shadow corners, the demonic entities peering through the spiritual window of your life, trying to gauge your pain level, trying to calculate when you would finally give up. They are still there. They are still looking. But when they look now, they see the crown. They see the absolute blazing, incandescent white light of God's glory pouring through you. And that light is blinding them. The light is so intense that they are forced to retreat, stumbling backward into the abyss, clutching their eyes because they cannot stand the sight of a crowned, victorious, living chosen one. They cannot bear the sight of your success. Their monitoring systems are offline. You are invisible to their tracking now because you are moving at the speed of the spirit, and they only operate at the low, muddy frequency of the flesh. You are untouchable. You are invisible to the hunt. So here is the simple command. I have only 2 instructions for this new phase. First, do not look back. Do not turn your head even for a moment to check if the enemy is really gone, because focusing on the dust only contaminates the clarity of your destiny. The dead must bury their dead. Your assignment is forward. Your assignment is abundance. Your assignment is dominion. Do not entertain the memories of the pain. Do not analyze the failures of the people who betrayed you. That chapter is closed. You are moving into the palace now. Second instruction. Just receive and just thank. Stop trying to earn what has already been given. Stop trying to figure out the logistics of the miracle. Your job is not the how. Your job is the gratitude. Receive the promotion you weren't qualified for. Receive the healing the doctor said was impossible. Receive the peace that surpasses all understanding. Just thank God for the reality He has already set in motion for you. Thank Him for the victory that is already sealed in the celestial courts. This is your new reality. You are anointed. You are appointed. You are untouchable. You are the favorite. The inferno of your past was simply the crucible that forged your crown. Now wear it with the aggression of a king, with the confidence of a prophet, and with the humility of a child who knows they are deeply and irrevocably loved. This is your season. The gates of abundance are open, and they will never close again. You are stepping into the flow. To cement this declaration, to activate this new coronation, I need you to command the universe right now. I need you to declare your status, not only to me, but to every invisible force listening. Speak your truth and seal your authority. Type this phrase into the comments below with intention, with power, and with finality, and watch how quickly the physical world shifts to match your new spiritual status. This is the activation code. Comment it now. I am unstoppable. I am crowned. Type it, seal it, and step into your royal operation. The light is calling you forward. Walk into your abundance now.